The last couple of years have been a roller coaster for sure, because I came off 2010 and it was like the peak of my career, and it dropped off quick, right? I didn't really have a contingent plan for what to do after the games.
Since capturing silver at the Vancouver 2010 Paralympic Games, Kimberley, BC native Josh Dueck has had a journey filled with ups and downs.
Allowing my intuition to guide me and not let fear define me.
He was invited to speak at a TEDx event, was the main subject of a mini documentary, became the first person to perform a backflip on a sit ski,
How do you do a flip?
and even appeared on Ellen. But despite these highlights, Dueck also experienced what he calls a Paralympic hangover.
Physically, I lost my spark on the hill, and I lost my ability to be the skier that I'd become, and that was difficult.
The sport of slalom skiing is in constant evolution, which meant Dueck needed to adapt to different equipment, everything from new bindings to adjusted suspension and different aerodynamics. The transition for Dueck was anything but smooth.
I didn't trust my equipment anymore, so when you don't trust your equipment, how can you really commit to going 140 kilometers an hour down the hill?
He started to become disillusioned with the sport, and the negativity even began to seep into his personal life.
So given this post-Olympic depression was carrying on for over a year, and I saw that it was consuming every part of me, right? Like it was changing the way that I viewed my sport. It was changing my ability to ski. It was affecting my personal life. I almost pushed my wife right out of my life, and that was, worst case scenario. That's the last thing that I want to happen. But I changed as a person because of that. I was lost, and I was scared, and it was dark.
Dueck had hit rock bottom and was strongly considering leaving the sport. But then the phone rang. It was a producer from Solomon Free Ski TV.
And we did a little, it was supposed to be like a 2 or 3 minute webisode and just catch a couple little shots of me learning to ski POW in the backcountry, but it turned out that it worked really well. My sit ski in that environment was perfect. And we ended up getting so many shots and building a story that was worthy of creating a little mini documentary that we called The Freedom Chair. And that was a huge turning point for me. That changed everything, is moving outside of that competitive realm for a little bit, back into the creative world for a while, so that I could have a little more of an open or a global perspective on the sport as a whole.
And now, with the Sochi Games just around the corner, Dueck's motivation is back.
I really dedicated myself to learning more about the equipment, so applying my energy towards the evolution of the sit ski and the ski that I ride on, trying to find that perfect harmony.
In 2010, Dueck captured silver in his home country, running on pure, fearless adrenaline. Now, 4 years later, Dueck heads to Sochi with experience, composure, and added perspective.
My goal is to simply position myself to where I'm skiing well again, and have a playful and curious approach to the mountain. So if I can do that, if I can have a really comfortable and playful approach to how I make my ski turn when I come down the hill, then I suspect I'll be, no longer vying for that top 20 like I was last season. I'll be right back in the mix for the top spot. So it's exciting.
From Vernon, BC, for Go Okanagan, I'm Kevin Chirac.